Hey everybody, it's Cam from OTO. I just wanted to say hi to everybody. Hope everybody's hanging in there as much as they can in this pretty shitty time. So we wanted to start this sort of video series that we could talk about just a little bit of background on who we are. And so I thought hopefully you guys want to follow along and we can kind of see where this thing goes. The first thing we really want to talk about is kind of how we got to the establishing of the company. So I think we're going to kind of go from there into how we started, what we started printing originally, where the business started, what the goals were, how we ended up moving into business to business screen printing, into leaving my full-time job to make this my full-time job, and how we performed and we're able to get enough customers and sales and get to the point of being in a pretty good spot until obviously this virus hit. So we've actually still been doing pretty well, thank God, and we'll see, hopefully that can continue. I understand that what a lot of people are doing right now is entertaining themselves and spending time on Netflix, HBO, YouTube, Instagram. So I figured if we could share a little bit about what we do and try and keep some of that entertainment as local as possible, I think that'd be kind of a cool thing to do. So flashback to the year 2000, and this guy and my sister, who happened to be the co-founder of the company many years later, moved from New Hampshire to Cincinnati. Our parents moved us to the suburb of Wyoming. I went to Wyoming High School, graduated from there in 2009, went to University of Cincinnati. My sister was 4 years older than me, graphic designer, started off at DAP actually, so I think that's kind of where this idea of combining ideas and designs into kind of a commercialized business plan was really born. We worked on several different things trying to figure out kind of what our niche would be. We're really resistant about certain things. Thought about maybe doing fraternity-based apparel, thought about doing sports-based stuff, whether it be selling a goofy Cincinnati Reds knockoff shirt, any sort of thing that wouldn't infringe on licensing issues, but would allow us to be able to kind of like make something that we thought would actually like look better than a lot of the stuff that was actually available. So I felt like we constantly would look at garments and say, that's uglier than it should be, or that could be so much cuter, especially when it comes to women's merch. If you go through like an NFL or MLB pro shop, the women's available collections are atrocious typically. Maybe there'll be a couple like cute things that ladies can get their hands on, but there's really not a lot offered, and I never really felt great about that. And then additionally, like, unless it was vintagey, there wasn't really a lot of good stuff for guys. So that was kind of like where we started, and trying to feel like maybe we could carve a little niche out for ourselves and create something that didn't have to be like vintage or retro, but also could be fresh and made by us and controlled by us and offered by us, and preferably vertically integrated and printed by us. So I think that was kind of like what started our idea. So back in 2014, we established an LLC called Over the Ohio Clothing Company. It was a play on words for OTR, Over the Rhine. So whether that was a good idea or not, I guess remains to be seen, but we've been able to establish a pretty solid business with that name. So I don't think it's technically been something that's really been a detractor for us. So that's a big question that we get asked. What does OTO stand for? For us, it's really about, the goal is really to make it stand for what we do, is delivering quality goods good customer service, great garments, great designs, and like that feeling that you get when you wear something that we printed. So I think that's kind of where it started. 2014 started the LLC. Flash forward another 6 years, 2020. My sister's no longer involved. She's actually a creative director at another company. We spent years and years kind of figuring out our direction, where we wanted to go. So I feel like we've talked about how this came to be, where the idea came from, the thought process we had before getting to a point where we felt like we could pull the trigger on our first LLC, our first company name, and getting our first equipment. So hopefully over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however often we can post. I'd prefer to sit outside, so as long as the weather holds up, we'll see what we can do. Over that time, hopefully we can talk more about how we went from the very beginning to transitioning from Over the Ohio to OTO, how we transitioned our strategy and kind of where we want to go, what we're doing now. I'm hoping each video we can just talk about a garment. So this is a Comfort Colors 100% cotton t-shirt. This is a extra large, so that's why it's so big. This is Irish green, I believe. 100% ring spun cotton. This is my go-to shirt. You'll often see this shirt in sorority, fraternity life. I think about 80%, I would say, of fraternity, sorority, and group outings have these shirts. They're extremely soft. They're extremely comfortable. They have a very generous fit. They're a little maybe oversized. They are pre-shrunk, so they're not going to like tighten up on you at all. And they're just pretty damn comfortable. I love these things. The print results are great. The quality's amazing. They last forever. And the older they get, the better they get too. And they're great to begin with, but once you've washed one of these things like 100 times, it's the best shirt you've ever had. So I think just kind of talking about different garments and explaining what we look for, what we try and explain to our customers when we print for their group event or, organization. This is kind of the stuff we talk to them about, because they want to know that what they're buying is quality or, the right thing, because these are significant investments. So, Comfort Colors heavyweight t-shirt in Irish green, and these are the best. Stay tuned. We're going to post more of these. Take it easy, everybody, and have as good of a quarantine as you can have.